The webinar will begin shortly. Please remain on the line. The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Right. Good afternoon, traders. Woo. Woo. Well, we're off the lows. That's good. Market not responding all that well to a hotter than expected inflation report. We said any worse than expected would result in a sell-off. Indeed, that's what happened. I've had two comments come in. Okay said hello and thankful for hedges today. John said good afternoon, hedge. If you're gonna hedge, you hedge early. I mean, if you look at them now, it's moved already, right? We're gonna figure it out. Excuse me. We'll talk about why I think that. Yes, it's a little hotter than expected. Yes, the can is absolutely being kicked down the road. But what I want you to notice, we always talk about the market adjusting. Oh, the market's adjusting to the new reality. But when you see just how much the market has kicked the can down the road relative to what the drop that we're experiencing is, especially when you look at it relative to what? 2 days ago, 3 days ago, 3 days ago. Maybe it was even further than that. Was it? What day is today? Today is Wednesday. Probably it was Thursday, right? Is that when it was? When Kashkari came out and disrupted things? If you look at how low it touched there, we're above that right now, right? So I know I'm on the intro slide here, just kind of rambling on. Welcome to the Tradespoon live trading room, stocks and options. By the way, my name is Scott, and I will be your host. Let's get into it. This is me trading for a while, teaching for. So guess what? This summer marks year 25. 25 years in trading this summer. A fresh-faced young Scott started in the market, working at Fidelity Investments, and woo, I am retired. I mean, I'm not, right? Like, do you retire from trading? I know this. This is what I know, provably. I am a better trader when I coach, whether it's like, one-on-one, or even if I'm just do webinars. So there was a period for a few years where I didn't do anything. I was just, and when I started working in it, coaching again, my trading, I could see my numbers improve, and I'm like, oh my gosh. And so I actually think no matter what, even if it's just like a few, maybe like a group meeting or something, I'll always want to teach and talk and just. Most of what I'm doing here, this is for me. I'm talking out loud, so my subconscious is like, yeah, go take action. So anyways. All right. Here's the disclosures. And let's talk about the market. Should we? I think we should. Yeah, I do. I love the market. I talk about it. I talk about it for a hobby. So Yahoo's too late. I've already bought the battery, so they can show me all the batteries they want, but it's not going to happen. And I didn't get it from Advanced Auto Parts. They're too late. I got it from Batteries Plus. Market's down. I don't know if you guys knew that. It's red today. Did you know that? The market's down a little today. 2.8. NASDAQ 1.17. The poor Russell 3%. Guess what's not down? Oil. Well, speaking of inflation, oil, as it steadily marches on a direct flight to 100. Boo. Boo. Did Bitcoin pop again? I felt like Bitcoin was in a consolidation pattern. I didn't look at it in the last couple of days, but another hot inflation reading could complicate. Was that never like they didn't say, "Oh, we're going to do it now"? They said, "Well, it's our plans for them, but not their plans." Right? Am I wrong about that? I think they've always said we're going to watch the numbers and see. Stocks sink as hot inflation torpedoes rate cut. God, it's so dramatic. They sink. Hot inflation torpedoes. I mean, it's like dire, right? I don't feel like it's dire, though. In fact, if you look at let's start here for a second. So where we are now is literally where we were 5 days ago. And where we are now is literally, brace yourselves. I know that you're going to struggle with this bad news. We are 2%, 2% off the highs. What? 2%? How are we going to manage? Thank you. I've been taking drama class. I've finished. I'm finished with line drawing. They're as straight as they're gonna get. It's on to more dramatic speaking. Did it work? I don't know. What's my take? Looks fine. Like we could still get that late April pop. We're holding still. We're actually still a good bit above the 50-day moving average, in fact. So yeah, don't bet the bearish farm just yet. Let's just relax. The hedges are doing their job. We're being patient, right? We're being patient with new positions. I'm not clamoring to put new trades on, but I think things look fine. I'm absolutely looking for signals coming out of this. This is a doji at a low we've already been at. Does that look like the sellers are breaking this thing down? They're certainly here, but are they smashing and grabbing? I don't feel like that's happened. If you do, let's have a conversation. Tell me what you see. If you're like, Scott, what are you talking about? This looks nasty. Okay. Tell me what. Obviously, I have other things that I'm going to look at. John asked, posture. My posture dropped. I'm still bullish. I'm a 6. Fundamentally, everything looks the same it did. You can't shake it. If your posture goes from like, I'm bullish to like, I'm neutral in a week, your posture is going to get whipsawed all over the place. Shake, 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 shake. Not interested. So yeah, it's eased up. And if it weakens again this week, well, then this will ease up more. And I'll be like, oh, now, do you think I have to wait for my score to go negative before I trade bearishly? No, of course not. Of course not. Right? I will trade bearish short-term momentum in a fundamentally still bullish market. Sure, of course. So, all right. Bob says, yeah, but we haven't broken trend like they have paused. Paused trend. You're right. We did pause trend here, right? We were on a trajectory. Like, hey, is this the same type of a pause where sells out? This is the first part where it broke out of it a little bit, just like that's the first part when we got out of it. And then it moved up, couldn't get back, and you can see same highs, and you can see the same kind of a thing here. And now what? Well, if we hold, I think looking for the same type of a situation. Are we holding on to it? I'm still bullish. Still bullish. Oh, there you go. John says still bullish. Now, LK's brings up a good point. Said, Tomorrow tells the other half of the inflation story. Last time, we actually got better results on PPI than we did CPI. And I think that might be some of what's happening today, where if that happens again, it holds. If we get a good number on PPI, maybe we bounce. If we get a poor number on CPI, maybe we head on down and give that 50 a test. I'm okay if it tests the 50 and hold. If it tests the 50 and hold, I'll still put bullish trades on that bounce. I'm sure I'll still have bullish stocks on my watch list in groups that are still favorable with institutions. As long as that's happening, I feel fine. Yeah. If you look at one of the things I do, it's Wednesday, so we've got 3 days. What have we seen this week? Is there anything disruptive that's going to say, oh, your posture is going to get worse? No. In fact, I thought to myself, today might be the day where it tests a new low. If it made a lower low, my posture would get worse. I'd be like, oh, lower low on the short term. Score's going to drop a little bit. It's got to reflect that, right? That's how it works. But it didn't. It held. Is the score going to get better? No, it's not. Unless if it pops out of that little consolidation range right here, maybe I would actually. I'm in a place where I'm just like, okay, let's see what happens. Relax. Sorry, my microphone keeps dropping. I don't know what's going on with my. It sinks down. There we go. Much better. Sorry. Okay. Where were we? We're distracted today a little bit. Where did the posture got worse on the short term, got worse on the volume, got worse on the VIX? Speaking of, we may as well go take a peek. There is concern in the VIX. Now, here's the thing. Theoretically, it's really still in this consolidation. Now, could you be looking at this thinking to yourself, it's turning? It's hard with these long shadows to really be convinced of that. Really, it's, you're coming back to this day here when we first broke out of this consolidation. Boop. That's the day you wanted to get it on, when the VIX is at 13.5 and you're buying options for $1.50. Those same options are now 320. So do you put a new hedge on now? I'm not convinced of that yet. The stochastics is starting to pinch, but hasn't turned. We haven't broken out of this consolidation range yet. If you still have some on, and I do, I'll hold on to it. I'm not putting new hedge on. Is anyone hedging new today? If you didn't have enough, if you didn't have any, you might be putting some on. It always sucks to putting a hedge on at 16 is not the same as on the VIX, is not the same as putting a hedge on at 13.5 or 13 or 12. It's not. Are we nervous? Keep in mind, anything under 18, if when we get nervous, we spike up to like somewhere between like 16 and 18 and we never really get above that, no. This looks just fine. That's not like, oh my gosh, we're getting nervous here. This is like, oh, there's a little breath. Market breathes out a little. Always give yourself just a little extra context. Now all of a sudden you're like, oh yeah, we're not even to the low 20s, and you're like, the low 20s is not that bad when you look back here. When things really escalated, we escalated up into the mid to upper 30s, right? So keep it all in perspective. But yeah, there's some concern here. Absolutely. I would love to see this ease back a little bit more, get back below the 50 here. But yeah, there's a little bit of caution built into the VIX for me right now. Did we look at everything? We looked at the news. Well, obviously, it's inflation. That's really all we care about right now. Everything else is just a headline. We know that tomorrow brings PPI and jobless claims. We have no expectation, but more positive from jobless claims. PPIs here. Okay, PPI comes out. We'll see what happens, and then that's really it. That's the movement for going forward. I don't see anything on Monday. We have retail sales, but whatever we get on Thursday to kick us, that's the direction I think we go, maybe for a little longer. That's our next 5 to 7 day direction. We'll see for sure how strong the kick is, but that's what I'm looking for. Stella says what? Stella says, okay, so she was a little more bearish for a minute. She's like, this thing's coming down, and now she's like, okay, you know what? It's holding. Well, you know what the next step is? If this thing holds a couple of more days, this starts to kick on up into a bullish kick. That's going to help give us the go ahead, in my opinion. This looks fine to me. She's always a little bit slower to come around. Oh, I have a short memory. What's next? QQQ. Have I missed anything? John says 10-year treasury auction. Yeah, we'll see. What do we have on here? IWM. Even here, the model saying, hey, it looks like it's going to hold up. One of the things we're asking ourselves about the IWM, I'm going to jump. It's not holding right now. Like, it's so close. I don't know if I would consider that broken necessarily. I mean, this is the last one. Especially if we get just a little kick at the end of the day and it's like sitting right near the 50, I'm going to think, I call that a hold. It's close enough. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Don't count out the small cap. Remember that really it's this last little bit from right now, 10th through the 13th. This is when we get that last kick. And I know it's like, oh, just because there's a tendency. Right? So if we hold, do I think we could kick for the entire last bit of April? Hell yes, I do. Absolutely. Let's go look at May. What are the expectations? There's none now. There haven't been for a while. Right? June, look at the shift. Yesterday we had it 56% chance of a cut, 42% chance of a hold. So better than 1-to-1 in favor of a cut. Now what is it? Now it's 7-to-1, 6-to-1, 5-to-1. I don't know. My math's off. 5 or 6-to-1 against. Now everyone's like, nope, it's definitely not happening in June. So you can see we've kicked that can abruptly. A swift shift in the probabilities and expectations. No more expectation in June. So is it July? Here's July. July is at 59 against. We're 1.5-to-1 against a cut, even in July. So we're saying, no, it's not. The market's now. Now, did the market go through a 5% correction as it made this adjustment to a fall cut rather than a summer cut? We're down 2%. 2%. That's not like oh man, we're really shaking in our boots. It's okay, it might be a little bit. Brace for it. We are. What's the market's reaction? It's okay so far. Could that shift when we start seeing earnings announcements from financial companies? Sure. Yeah, that could move the market. But at this point, the first time we have better than not quiz. Only barely better than 1-to-1, even in September. But September still gives you 1, 2, 3 chances. So, yeah, okay. Fine, Bob, here's your quiz. To be honest with you, a lot of people haven't been participating. I'm thinking of canceling the quiz. You know? Oh, look at that rally. I started talking about it in the market. Like, yes. Okay, this is the mark. It's got to cross to get to A. Bob's protesting if we cancel the quiz. All right, I'm not going to. I love the quiz. You don't have to go all the way down. I'm gonna give the C's a little break. I'm gonna go right there. But it's a pretty big range today. $2 wide. We'll call it right around 515, a little under for A's. We'll call it between 515 and 513 for the B's, and we'll call it below 513 for the C's. So C's, it's got to close at or near the lows for the day. Okay, here we go. John is a C. He soaring into the close, Bob says. Bob's an A, Brad's an A. LK is a B. I got to join LK. It's a $2 range. It's like a real wide 2 hours we've been in there. I'm going to go B. Well, I'm rooting for A. Let's see if it can come. Of course, I'm rooting for the market. I would rather always stay in a bullish market than anything else. Those are our most favorable conditions. Bull market, low volatility, broad. I mean, look, we could trade that. We could trade that forever. So who else? Anyone else want to put their answer in? So we've got the brain says B, the gut says C, Ted. Ooh, Bob's right. Soaring into the close. It's breaking out into the A as we speak. Okay, so we've got only one C. We've got a few B's, couple A's. Let's see what Stella thinks, and then we'll come back to business at hand. Where are you? There you are. Let's go to the SPY. Well, there we go. Intraday. Ooh, Stella says 513.38. Stella's a B. She says it's going to bounce off of this thing and head on back down, but not all the way. Okay. Why can't I delete this? There we go. Uh, 2-year right at 5% again. All right, let's get you back to 6 months. Let's get to the top of the list. Let's see what's going on. Apple holding support. Is it a trade where you're like, ooh, I'm clamoring in? No, but it's holding support. If we want to maintain bullishness, we certainly want Apple to be bullish, right? Yeah. So yeah, I'm rooting for it to hold. AIG. Holding. Oh, I love it. I think it's setting up. Look at that. Look, I think this looks fine. Little consolidation. Still looks viable. Okay, now let's see what Stella thinks about something like AIG. Let me see. Nope. She says it's going to keep falling. Now, here's the deal, right? If it doesn't start dropping in the next couple of days, these are going to start to stabilize. These are going to whip up. So she's just waiting to see. Be patient. Don't count it up. PGR way better. Okay. AMD, no. There's nothing there for me right now. Amazon, I mean, look at it. It's holding up. I'd like to see it pull back. AXP, holding up. Time before earnings. We'll see if we like this or Capital One better, but I like that still. Boeing, there's nothing there. It's a new low. Bank of America, down earnings, so be careful. So there's some financials and earnings that are starting to show some concern. The LDR is concerning. It's breaking the 50. You can see this one piece of volume here. It's making it really hard to read the rest of it. So if I do this, you can see I can actually see that today's a pretty good volume day on a sell-off. Citi holding up at or near the same support level, well above the previous. Got out of some on Friday, the rest on Monday, and now waiting for the next opportunity to get back in. CMG, it's not a great trade right now. I'm just watching to see how it behaves coming into the summer split. Capital One. This line, it never did. Now what? Now I'm moving this down. So now I'm thinking to myself, is this getting ready to set up over here? Let's wait and see. It's holding the 50. Oil on a little bit of a pullback. Costco doesn't look great, but it's trying. It's putting a good faith effort in. So is Crowd. Delta got beat up, gapped up on its earnings, pushed higher, gave it all back down. No interest there at all for that. DHI, no interest here. Seeing some consumer discretionary weakness continue to be pervasive. BAC, I love BAC. We already looked at that. Earnings are close, though. Close. I believe it's Tuesday after or Tuesday before. So all you have is like the next three can hold and turn. We'll see what else we have. We'll see what else we have on the list. Carmen, you made it. You're a B. Wonderful. I'm glad you made it. Where was I? Bitcoin. It's all right. You know, it's got a break. I think it looks a little stalled out. Where are we? GE. Maybe in a consolidation. Gold. Maybe in a consolidation. Google. I mean, a lot of things are just like they haven't broken. This is broken. Home Depot, no interest. Where is it? Consumer discretionary. So yeah, it's a little weird that consumer discretionary looks so terrible right now, right? There's just no interest there. IBM doesn't look great. Really, it's just been meandering down for a while. Now it looks like it's about to break on through its 50. Intel, terrible. Terrible. IWM. Come on. It'll be interesting. Is that BJS? Is that trucking? BJ Services? or BJ Wholesalers? Which one is it? BJ Wholesale Club. Isn't there a... Yeah. This is trucking, right? Looks like it doesn't exist anymore. Maybe they're gone now. All right. Pretty strong. Cost. Where were we? Small caps. There we go. Small caps. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I'm because I'm bullish, I'm giving it more benefit of the doubt. You tell me what you think. More benefit of the doubt? Are you looking for trades? I mean, I just closed. Same thing here. Took some, took the rest, looking for the next one. Very, very similar to Caterpillar, right? Very similar to Caterpillar. Both of them I want to trade again. I still like communication services. I still like industrials. Financials, oh, come on. We're rooting for you. We do not want that to drop out. If financials drops out, we're down to 3 leading sectors. Well, actually, no, we're not. We have 3 growth sectors, and then we have energy and materials. And if that's the mix, that's certainly a less bullish mix. So that reduces how I score the market. It's less bullish, right? For now, it's holding up. It's not as strong as it was. I can tell you that. We had quite a strong lineup there from November until now. It's like, hey, it's broad, but I feel a little bit of lessening there. We'll see if it continues or rights the ship. Morgan Stanley earnings. There you go. Vlad getting the sense for it too. John said Vlad bought puts on XLF. You can see things are. He's anticipating the market's not going to like the earnings coming up, I would imagine. We'll look at XLF here in just a moment. Yeah, we'll take a look here. Let's see. Okay. Microsoft. I think Microsoft is holding up. The stochastics is a little jittery here, but as long as it doesn't break, let's see. The Heiken Ashley is probably neutral right now. Yeah, that doesn't look great. No, it doesn't look great. We'll see what happens here. Netflix still holding up. Let's see. NVIDIA. If you're going to trade chips, there it is. This or TSM, right? This or TSM. Car, it's down, but maybe gonna find a way. Stabilized above the 50. PLTR, not really. QQQ. Yeah, QQQ. Okay. SMCI. Can it hold the 50? I don't think it's tradable, to be honest. I here's what I would need to see. You can find that you'll get these consolidation lines. What do I need? I need it to pop, then have a small drop, and then a big hop. Pop, drop, hop. MU is the new NVIDIA. Okay, let's take a look. Let's take a look at Micron. MU. Okay, let's see. Uh, what else? Yeah, Micron does look great. Let's add it. MU on the list. Where were we? We are at the SPY. Okay, let's check in on the contest. 5 minutes. Ooh, so we did pull back, and now we're looking for another bounce. Can it make a run? Gathered some energy. Can it make a run at 515 and break through? Very exciting, very exciting. We will see. Yeah, all right. Yeah, I think a little bit of buy, but then it's just gonna pause. So let's see. TSM. Let's back out of this. Let's go here. Yeah, I agree. You know, they all look a little bit. So right now, the one that looks closest to a trade is Nvidia. They're a little off of the cycle. I would say that Micron looks great, but it's in a pullback. It could turn now, or it could pull back all the way to 110, and I'd like it just as much. Whereas Nvidia is already pulled back. It's already made the pullback. Now it looks like it's stabilizing and trying to turn. So as long as this thing starts moving again, I'll be like, yeah, let's catch it and ride. Here's the VIX. The VIX is just right, kind of in a place where you're like, yeah, I don't know. It's not spiking today. It's in the same consolidation pattern that it's been in. Here's waste management. Waste management actually looks probably like the only viable trade. Let's see what Stella thinks. We just had a new high, so a higher high. It's a industrial. Industrial, new high, higher low, above the 50-day. So we'll take a look at this here. I think this one looks quite reasonable. Walmart actually gave its signal back here, and it was just kind of moving, and now it's accelerating. So if you're in it, great. If you're not, maybe you would think, yeah, I think you can still try to catch a little piece if you catch one more day. So far, I like waste management the most. Basic materials, nice to see a drop here. I mean, it's dropping like everything else is dropping, but nonetheless, right? Nonetheless, we're good with it on the drop. Okay. Dennis. You're not late. You're right on time for. I'm never late. The starting time is when the meeting begins. Good to see you. Glad you can make it. Energy. You can see this still looks fine. This looks stronger than we want it to. Financials. It's starting to teeter a little bit. Still above the 50. I still see this as the more important as it connects. So if it stabilizes in here, I'm okay with it. But yeah, a little bit of concern going on in here. Overall, the trend, I mean, look at your action, but overall, the trend is fine. I mean, you can see back here, we went down a little bit and then boom, we took off again. So there's a correlation, I hope you're noticing, between what happened here and what's a bit more. And then we get the next one of these for 3 months, 2 months and change. Yeah. Roaring in. Yep. Ted was reiterating what John said. Vlad just did a put on XLF. XLK sitting on top of the 50, trying to hold it. XLP just under the 50. Yeah, that's a little bit concerning, I think, the way that looks. What else? Let's see. Utilities. It's almost 2% down. Not a huge concern here. Healthcare down. We're not big on healthcare. I'm never big on healthcare. Here's consumer discretionary. Concerning for sure. Looks like it's really struggling to hold. If it can't hold this line, then I'd expect worse. Let's go take a look at it. Roaring in. It's interesting because 2 days in a row, right? 2 days in a row, we're a little bit just having to wait to see what the market does. I do want to look at waste management, though, so we'll do that. Let's take a peek. Oh, Bob said roaring, and right then it just sort of hit that 515 and was like, I got a little shy. I don't know if I want to venture forth past 515. These guys who did it back here told some. So everyone else has been like, nope, nope, nope. Trying. They're thinking about it. Are they brave? Are they going to push? Are they going to stall out? We want to know the answers. Let's go look at waste management to kill a little time. Yeah, I mean, look, I like it. It's viable now. 208. Where's my stop? 205. 204.95. Back here below this. Maybe even a little lower still, right? You could even get all the way down here to 204 and change. Yeah. What's the upside? I'm looking for a new high. Maybe 5 higher than this, maybe 220. It's slow and steady, and the implied volatility is high for itself. So what am I going to do? I'm going to go, no. Let's put this here. Let's go analyze. Let's go into add simulated trades. I'm going to look at a bull call in May. Maybe I could just do like, that's way too many strikes. Let's go 12. I was thinking 205 by 210, but they don't have it. So it's either 200 by 210 or 210 by 220. Those are the two that I would be thinking about here. Okay. And we said 220 target. And what do we say? We said 204.25 to the downside, something like that. Okay. Today's the 10th. I'm going to open this so that I can see a little better. Okay. Let's do one at a time. So this is the 200 by 210. You can see what we've done here is, and time is negative. So let's give this, what day is today? The 10th? Let's give it to the 19th. We'll give it some time for it to break against us. So, okay. So I'm about 1.5. I'm about 2.5 to 1. Well, only 2 to 1 on that one. Let's see how this one looks. Let's bring our risk down to 3 contracts, 2 contracts, 250. All right. We'll think about that. $260 to make 680. 230 to make 530. I don't love these. Yeah, maybe I would go out a little further, even though the cost opens up a little bit. I don't love it. Huh. Maybe we should just look at buying an option. The bull spread doesn't look great. I'm going to look at something else too. Okay, let's put if we buy an option. Well, yeah, they're not great. I mean, you can see we only have a few hundred contracts. The spreads aren't terrible, but yeah, I don't know. It's iffy. It's a little iffy. You could just buy the option. Let's do that with the 210. And you can see it holds up all right. Let's do this. I'm going to try a butterfly. Here. Okay. Here's a butterfly. Can I make this a little wider? $200. A broken wing butterfly. Oh. Nah, it's good for probability, but I don't think if I went back a step, what would that do? 210, 220. Yeah. I thought maybe the butterfly might work, but I don't think so. I don't like the way the options are shaping up. So we'll see. I think it's okay. There's something about the options for me, and they're not hugely liquid. All right, let's go see how this thing's going to finish. Oh, here we go. So they made one more attempt to 515, all the way back down. I'm gonna. What else? That's it. Big report tomorrow. We'll see how it comes out. Then we'll meet on Friday, see how the market is wrapping up. So, anyways, yeah. Okay. Here's rooting for the producers to have less inflationary pressures than the consumers. It's good to see everybody. Have a great rest of your day. I'll see you Friday morning. Morning coffee. As always. Happy trading.